Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a Vivi OMI update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love y'all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below and becoming a member brings lots of perks. Also, raythax.dth domain name. So start off with OMI. OMI on the day is, I'll see how much volume they did. They were down about 0.02% today, so down to 000062885. So it's been about flat, been about the same. Have $730,000 in volume. Did have my new whale go and get more today. He's at about 19.6, maybe 19.7. He's really close to that 20 million mark. We were supposed to get that today, but we didn't. We'll wind up getting that tomorrow. On top of that, he's also getting those the platinum set tomorrow. Be advised, he's a big sub 100 guy and sub 50 when he can. He just recently got the Hulk drop, so he got the Hulk, Maestro Hulk, and Red Hulk all in sub 100, and he'll go and he'll get these in sub 100 also. He's like, yo, Chavez, I want a sub 50. I was like, listen, sir, like you'll probably be able to, those will probably be available for Nemo. Maybe we'll get a couple of those for Woody, but for that Miguel from Coco, there's no way is he gonna sell out. And even if half of them sells, which is a lot, that'd be well over 100K. Actually, that'd be close to 200K. Actually, that'd be more than that. If the whole thing sold out, it'd be 300K. But if only half of Miguel sold, that'd still be 150,000. Like, so even if half of them sell, there's no guarantee that any or all of the sub 50s are going to be available. So I literally told him, like, get a sub 100 or just, and he really wants the posters too. It's like, okay, well, eventually you'll be able to buy Boo's Door. You'll be able to get the airdrops for these particular collectibles for the posters. But you don't need the sub 100s for that. You just get any random one. He's like, oh no, Chavez, I need the sub 100s. I want a sub 50. And this is what I mean. People want what they want, even though they have somebody advising them saying, oh, hey, maybe that's not the best idea right away, just because, if there's only one or two and you have 5 or 6 different whales all trying for them, price is going to go sky high. And it's like, at that point, sort of just get OMI. And he's like, maybe. But again, these people, doesn't matter who they are. A lot of money, little money. They want what they want, and some people are just going to get it. There's like, I don't care. It's what I want, and they're just going to do it. So if you have one, definitely hang on to it. I will definitely want to know. I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm definitely going to go for Nemo, because that'll definitely sell out. The Nemo, that'll definitely go and take it'll make a decent amount for Vivi, and then on top of that, you have the secondary fees. Will also do really well. I would say it does, we might do about definitely over 100K in sales. 200K might be stretching it, but we'll see. I mean, the last of them, when we had the Mickey and the Minnie and the Donald and all that, that did $600,000 in like a half hour. I was like, oh my God, I did not expect that at all. So now with this, and I'll go over more of it tomorrow. I'll be going live for the drop. Even doing half of that, I'd be very happy with, because Luke Skywalker did over 300K, but that's Luke Skywalker. Yeah, if these do 300K, I will be happy. Anyway, moving on. In case you haven't done it, yesterday morning we did get updates on the Vivi app. So the updates consist of a couple things. One is push notifications, where you get some enhancements on that, so you get notified when someone comments on your posts. So you read messages with your notifications inbox. You have Waitlist Volume 1 for comics, thank God. So we should be getting Incredible Hulk #1 within the next couple weeks. It should be early July that we should get it. Because again, we were supposed to get that last week. They didn't, because everyone's like, hey, this is not fair. We wanted to have it fair. We don't want bots to get this. And like, I understand. Like for Red Hulk, there was less than 2% of the people that bought it that were suspected bot accounts. Less than 2%. That's really, really good. So over 98% of people were real people that got this. And so people can't say like, oh yeah, Vivi might have made $120,000, $106,000, whatever it was, on Hulk. It's like, oh, that's just because of the bots. You can't say that, and it's less than 2% were even suspected bots. That's not saying that all of them that are suspected are bots. They could have just been new people that really like the Hulk. Again, I say this because we've seen, and I went over it in one of my last live streams. We've seen it with Hulks before. People that read Hulk. And that was it. If you just kind of liked the Hulk and you didn't really read him, you read him when Red Hulk came in. As soon as Red Hulk came in, like, who is it? Everybody read that. So even if right now, okay, yeah, Hulk's cool as part of the Avengers. When Red Hulk came out, I'm pretty sure we added a few more people, and I'm pretty sure we added a few people that were like, so I think there are definitely some new accounts, especially now that you don't have to KYC. It's much, much easier to onboard people. Anyway, outside of that, you have drop reservations. There was an issue that was fixed where all the users were stuck at allocating and or returning student screen, but that was fixed, and they have other bugs and minor optimizations that have been fixed as well. Moving on. I said this the other day in a live stream, but I really want to bring this point home. It now takes close to 800 MCP points per day to maintain the master rank on the Vivi app. My 725 points per day no longer keep me at the top. This means more and more people are stacking and not selling. It'll get really interesting when we have OMI utility on the app in Q3. Now, does that mean there's OMI to NFT happening in Q3? No, I don't expect that to happen Q4, maybe even Q1, but they are starting with season 0 for saying like, oh, hey, for me, like let's say if I wanted to go and increase the amount of MCP points I have, all I have to do is stake OMI. And that's another way in order to get us into the in order to get OMI locked up. You want more MCP points? You want to reach that master collector level? Even if you're only doing 500 points a day, if there's a way to double those amount of points, just stake a bunch of OMI, everyone's going to do that. Because it's cool to be a diamond. It's cool to be, whatever, but to be a master, like to get that, that's a flex. To be able to go and show everyone, oh, hey, I'm getting this many points a day, and to show everyone, it's a flex, and people are going to do it. So I'm super, super excited about that, to see where that goes. And not only that, at some point we will have those waitlist tickets as well in order to buy that. So a lot of OMI utility coming. Speaking of achievements, we have Mr. Rolex. MCP level 98, 300 completed sets, 4.7 million, I repeat, 4.7 million MCP points. Getting around quote Vegeta here, over 9,000 points per day. That's absolutely bananas. He'll reach level 99 in, reach level 9 in 13 days. In 2 weeks, he'll reach level 9. That's or level 99. That's nuts. So level 100 should be right around the corner for him. Speaking of Hulk before, if anybody had any trouble loading Red Hulk in AR, those issues should be fixed by now. Let Vivi know if it's not, but it's just an update that they haven't had the other day. Okay, so David posted a couple pics on Instagram yesterday, and it said Japanese licensed brand and partnership building. Now, what he happened to go and do on his particular mission, he happened to post on whatever con he was at. They happened to have it wasn't his booth. The Vivi did not have their own booth. They had to share a booth. Who did they share a booth with? They had a partnership with Gaia company. Now Gaia, so Gaia, I could not find anything on these people. There was one thing where it was like, okay, they raised like a couple $1 million. I don't know what the valuation was at. They only have like $250,000 in assets, so that didn't seem right. And then there was another one. I was like, okay, let me take a look at this. Yeah, there was another Gaia that had 4.15 billion in revenue, and that was the one that only had a $250,000 in assets, so that didn't seem right. Then there was another one that had 143 million yen in a funding round, which is about $1 million worth, but they didn't say at what valuation. I just don't know anything about them. They don't have an Instagram. If somebody has anything that they had found, comment down below. I'd be hella curious. But on top of that, they shared a booth with them, and in Japanese, it said, quote, "We serve as a portal to the Japanese, American, and Nordic markets," end quote. And then also you had with them, they had shared a booth with someone else called Museum of Fine Arts on Boston. They have 400,000 followers over on the Twitter. So those are both really good. Gaia being able to go and help onboard Asian users at some point. I went to their website, and their website has a bunch of other things on there. I'll show you right now. They have Merch Traffic, Probity, Baked, Brito, Florence Broadhurst, Sarah B., Kennington, The Walking Dead, Cup of Therapy, Grace Chow, Manhead, Metza Skogan, I don't know what that is, Gold Merchandising, Timo Saprovena, Maddie Pikujamas, Mr. Puppy, Vivi, New York Botanical Garden, Artistery, Striker Entertainment, and Archie Design. And here's what the Vivi page happened to look like. So that was just happened to be on their Gaia, I don't know how to pronounce it. But hopefully it works out for Vivi in their favor. And again, that Museum of Fine Arts from Boston, 400,000 followers on the Twitter. I think that can only be a good thing. And the only other banner that was up there was called the Benaki Museum that had 26,000 followers. So if you have a couple of museums up there, okay, then we're probably going to get a couple of fine art pieces. Which ones? I don't know. Just really excited for it. We had Gary O at 1234CA3 over on Twitter say, I keep asking when comics to be displayed in vaults. Low priority, I'm told, but I still ask. I'm a patient guy. Yeah, Brock McBlockchain answering this one saying, psst, I think it comes as part of a Viviverse, so dropping it in the old, or the current system for vaults would be kind of a wasted effort when it comes for free with the Viviverse. So again, it doesn't make much sense to go and say, hey, let's spend all these resources and all this time updating our vaults when everyone's going to have a new updated vault in the Viviverse. It's going to be the house. And, it doesn't make much sense to do on one thing, especially when Viviverse beta will roll out in Q3. When in Q3, I don't know. Could be the first week in July, could be the last week in September, or anywhere in between. Most likely anywhere in between. But that beta will roll out. When is everyone going to start to get it? It's kind of similar like MCP. I don't know. Everyone will probably have that before the end of the year. But just the fact that some people have it in beta and it's slowly rolling out just proves that there's good times ahead. So just in, President Joe Biden says he's going to make a more fair tax system by eliminating loopholes for crypto investors. Whether he does that for real or it's just something he's saying to try to get reelected, I don't know. Talk to your CPA, talk to your accountant, talk to your family about this. I am not going to be long for America if whoever puts that in, it doesn't matter if it's Biden, Trump, if anyone puts that in and they're like, yeah, we're gonna screw crypto investors. See ya. Like I'll if America needs to be back for like World War III, sure, we'll talk about that. But as of right now, if that type of thing were to come to fruition in a few years, I would not be living in America. I'm just throwing that out there. Some other stuff that David had posted was photos of them at the con, and then I'll show you what he had posted. Other posts include Simone Legno from Tokidoki saying, hardest working guy at the licensing show. Thought that was really cool. And again, David knows what he's doing, so I'm pretty sure he's teasing another season of Tokidoki. When do we get one? I don't know, but he's teasing that. He happened to tease, and if anyone's ever been, whether it's DesignerCon, whether it's New York Comic Con, people are in love with Tokidoki. The lines are always wrapped around the building. It goes, or wrapped around the particular booth. It goes up. People are lined up against the wall. People really like that. I know right now the people that are on, it's like, oh, Tokidoki's, it's cute, it's cool. Is that something that's gonna maybe be an IP branded world in the Viviverse? Probably not. Just because it seems kind of be all over the place. A bunch of different artists. I feel like that'd be really hard to do, but it has a lot of fans. And just because something won't be in the Viviverse, or at least as an IP branded world, doesn't mean that a bunch of fans are going to go to collect. Like, I don't expect like an Ultraman world in there. That'd be fun AF. But as more and more of the eastern part of the world comes on, you'll be seeing a really, really good amount of price jumps in Ultraman. Again, this is just my opinion, and I don't have it, so I'm not trying to pump my bags. But speaking of pumping my bags, did you know Capcom is 40 years old? Now is the time, post David Yu. Oh my God, look at it. It's that Kamehameha stance. David is over, obviously, at the Capcom booth, doing some, whatever he was doing some stuff with Monster Hunter. Look at that pose. Look at that face. How does his hair keep getting more and more perfect? Dave, before this trip, before the licensing trip that they had in Vegas last week, before this trip that they had in Tokyo, before this year, they had, I don't know how many years worth of, a couple years worth of content, ready, of untapped content. I tap that content. God, everyone please comment nice down below for that one. When you have something like this, how many years of content do they want? 5, 10 years of content? I mean, this is, now granted, it's at the pace that they're going at right now, which is a couple times a week. I do believe at some point you will have drops every day. There will come a time, like that great meme, you and your friends once rode your bikes together for the last time and no one knew. We'll just have a day where we don't have drops, and then the next day be a drop a day for the rest of eternity. We've already experimented with this before, around Christmas time, around Halloween time. Gems get super scarce, but they're super awesome. I love those times. I can't wait for them again. Hashtag soon. Also, talking about just people loving collectibles, we have GemRate over on the Twitter going and saying, hey, here are the daily grading updates for 28 June 2023. He did not say June, like as in all of June, but the 28th of June. Items graded yesterday by CGC were 1.4 thousand items just in one day. Beckett, or BGS, 3,600 in one day. SGC, 5,400 in one day. PSA, over 50,000 items graded in one day. Holy Christ on a scooter. If you don't think this collectible market, and this is 50,000 things that are eligible enough to be graded in one freaking day. Everything on Vivi is stupid undervalued. You can't tell me that it's not. When you have 50,000 things go to a grading, oh God, these grading professionals in just one day. PSA, the professional sports authenticators. Now, a lot of that is probably Pokemon, so it's just one license. But, geez, up to like a year ago, you could send in one thing in January and maybe get it back in December. Like you could straight up get married and have a kid, and you could all of that could happen before those cards come back. Now it's obviously much better. After they got bought out a couple years ago, things got really good under the CEO. But this is just the beginning. And how long are people going to do that for? How long are people going to be like, yeah, I'm going to continue spending $60 or $50 a card to get something graded, pay the shipping, pay the insurance, pay the fees, just to get it back months later? It's like time, especially in the digital age, it moves so much quicker in Web3. If you're late by like a week, you missed a whole bunch of stuff. So when I see something like this, I think that the collecting industry is doing nothing but growing, and the digital space is so small right now. I know we think it's big because we see so many people, so many millionaires, successful people in Vivi buying up floors, and we think, oh yeah, there's but we're laughing at like, oh yeah, Coco has Miguel from Coco has too many mints. It's 5,100 or 5,010, and is that big for what we have right now? Yeah, but again, that movie made $800 million in its theatrical movie run, not including how many kids like it right now on Disney Plus, how many kids like listening to the songs. Like, this is 5,000. This is stupid. This is stupid low. Like Nemo's been out. Happy 20-year anniversary to Nemo. Happy 20th birthday to Nemo and your lucky Finn. This is stupid. First appearance of Minnie Mouse on the blockchain, 2,000 mints. Stupid low. And that's selling for like 130 right now. That's ridiculous. This people are not buying that. Not smart. This is not smart. You have 10 times the amount of cards graded at PSA in one day than Coco. Coco had 5,000, which it probably won't even sell out tomorrow. You have 10 times that amount of items going into PSA and got graded in one day. And that's just what got graded, not including their backlog. Their backlog is months out. Yeah, this is insane. PSA does about 11 million cards, or last year they did 11.7 million cards last year. And that's just PSA. And they're always behind. They're always behind. This is a big market that I don't think anyone really understands the depth of how big it is, of how deep it goes, deep and wide. Ooh, don't say that's what she said. It's too easy. Speaking of straying further from God's light, the Cray Mountain over on Twitter goes and says, someone mentioned that on a stream that the word God is banned from Vivi app feed, and went to check it, and indeed the word God is not allowed. So Alex G goes and says, well, this is not a Vivi curated word list and is likely a box solution / catch, all for using the name in vain or in conjunction with damn, etc. That said, it does seem odd that it gets blocked on its own, but it's definitely not a statement on our end. We will look into it. So anyone that's looking at that, I get to picture FUD coming from a mile away. It's like, no, Vivi is not against God. Vivi is not against any type of religion. They are just, it's just something to prevent, I guess it was in the code, it just prevented it from people trying to use that word, use God's name in vain. So it happened in a box. It goes on its own. Where do they go to fix that? I mean, they're already pretty strict on the Vivi feed. Like if you go and you post a raunchy photo, or let's say if it's Steamboat Willie, you know, whistling, you know, lips going like that, and he's in a pretty X-rated position on Captain America, you know, stuff like that gets blocked. I remember posting a photo from last year's Dragon Con. This girl, she was dressed as Ursula, and she was, how should I put this? She was wearing a very low-cut dress. And I put her in a picture with Sebastian and Flounder. And I was like, oh, hey, can you pose with this? Because, you know, Vivi Golden Moments. And she said, yeah, sure. And I posted to the feed. Boom. Canceled. And it was like done. I was like, oh, wait, you censored this? So again, they tend to be pretty strict in general with that. You know, when you're dealing with IP like Disney, I feel like you kind of have to be. But certain words being banned, they might go and change that. They might not. I'm not sure yet. Oh, also, everyone say a big congrats to Stephen Duarte, 81 on Twitter, saying on my way, who had reached a level of 64 yesterday. Huzzah for him. Before we get into one other thing I want to go into, Kevin Chrysler says, would you please stop talking about the NFTs for just a second and cover the Elon Musk versus Zuckerberg MMA fight? I'll throw like $50 on Elon, even though he's favored to win. So I won't make much on it. I'll make like $20, give or take. I don't know what you want me to say. You want me to cover a lot? Like when Vivi when Vivi influencer boxing, that's not going to be fair. I'll win it all. But if you really want that, you know, I'll do it. We'll have portions of the proceeds go to charity. But speaking of stuff that I'm doing, we happen to have Alejandra Guajardo, who is Ms. El Salvador. She just won that a couple months ago. She'll be coming on the podcast. Not only that, we do have some other people going on the podcast. It is Brittany C. Butler, who's a former spy. She'll be coming on the podcast. She worked as a CIA asset, or with the CIA in some fashion. I'll ask her about it when she gets on. And then we also have returning my good friend Darcy Donovan, who has about 7 million followers across all social medias. Into Vivi already. Can't wait to get her back on. And that's just we'll have other people on there. I know there's a couple people I'm forgetting right now, but just so you guys know what's coming. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. I love you guys. Goodbye. Meow, 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 meow.